Hello, welcome to the update for the server runtime seg for the week of 19th October. So made quite a lot of progress this week. We're going to be focused on authentication. So what we were missing is authentication for the IDEs. So far we didn't support authentication authorization. We have that now. We also support now attaching volumes to the IDE container. So now your IDEs have like a 2 gig volume by default attached. What we also have is ability to open ports. So as you're doing web development, you can open ports so that you can actually see the application that you're developing. And then finally, you can also use the new GitLab Web IDE along with the custom control plane. So I'm going to show you these features now. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is that we've implemented full authentication and authorization now. So I've already spun up an IDE. So if I go ahead and navigate to that IDE, it now shows me an authentication screen. So I can go ahead and sign in with my GitLab credentials. And as long as I have access to the IDE, it's going to start showing up. So we do authorization as well. That means that if you spun up the IDE, you have access. But we can extend the model in the future if you wanted to also give access to other developers in the team. Give your IDE access to other developers in the team. Now, if I go ahead and navigate to this in a separate window, and as a different user, I don't have access. So this user doesn't have access, and therefore we get a big 500 internal server error. Right. The second thing I want to show you is that we now are attaching volumes. So if I go ahead and check here, you can see that I have a volume attached onto home workspaces. So this is a 2 gig volume that we attach by default. And so now people can actually store their code on the IDEs as well. I also want to show you the fact that now we've added the ability to open up ports. So in your GitLab experiments YAML, you can specify the ports that you want to open up. And of course, in my code, and this is very useful for web development. So as I'm developing and updating my code, I can go ahead and see my changes, right? So in my code, I'm starting a web server on port 8090. So if I go ahead and say go run main.go, that goes and starts up the web server. So now I actually want to see what I've created, and so I can go ahead and all I need to do is really update the port here. So I can go ahead and say 8090, and if I go update the port, I can see that it goes ahead and shows me my the message that I put in my code there. I can make changes very quickly, so I can say hello GitLab and read on the program, and then refresh again, and then I can see the changes immediately. Right, so the ability to open up ports really makes it easy to do web development. The last thing I want to show you is that we're also supporting now remote environments. So now the Web IDE can connect to things that have been orchestrated by this custom control plane. So I'm going to go ahead and spin up a new environment for myself. And so this environment is going to be a specific image that enables me to use a Web IDE. I'm going to pause here and wait for the environment to complete. It's pretty quick because it's pretty lightweight, but just going to pause here. So the environment has started up now. I can go ahead and sign in with my credentials. And as you see, it says that your remote development environment is ready. You can now log in with the Web IDE. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the button here and that on the link. And you can see that it pre-populates all the values for me. So all I need to do is now copy the token, put it in and say start Web IDE. And this goes ahead and starts the GitLab Web IDE and connects to my remote environment. And in a few seconds, I should have full access so I can explore my files. It's cloned the repository as well. I can explore my files. And I can also go ahead and run my program because I now have access to the download. So thanks for listening to this. Next week, I'm going to be focusing on quite a lot of cleanup. So cleaning up tests, making sure that the documentation is up to speed. I also want to explore the use of Google as a DNS provider. So right now I've been using GoDaddy as a DNS provider, but I want to support other DNS providers as well. So those are the things I'm working on. Thank you for listening.